Hey everybody, welcome. It's Colin McKeown with the New Fly Fisher. We're going to have a great show tonight. In fact, it's kind of unique, something I've never done before since we started doing these Facebook and YouTube live events. I'm going to be interviewing my daughter and talking to her about her experience going to the Bow River in Alberta. We've also got Shanice McNeil here from Calgary Tourism. She's going to talk about Calgary and the surrounding areas and all the things you can do. It's going to be a very unique show. And more importantly, I want to say thanks to everyone that's been following us. Today was a big day for us on our YouTube channel. We hit 20 million views. So thank you to everyone that made that possible. So without further ado, let's get this show going. And I'm going to start it with the opening. And I'm also going to give you a little taste of what Calgary and the Bow River is all about. Well, I'm hoping I can. There we go. Now let's see if we can get it to go. Uh-oh. I'm having technical problems. So let me click this. And I think my computer went to sleep. Well, you know something? When something like this happens, the best thing to do is switch to the people who are part of the show. There we go. Okay, so
hello
there. So I'm having a little problem here with my computer, and I'm going to, there we go. Welcome, and Jenna and Shanice, thanks for joining me. As you saw, I had a little technical problem right off the start. Not sure what happened there, but my video wouldn't play. I'm going to give it a try in a second here. But first, Shanice, if you don't mind, why don't you tell us a little about what you do? And let's start talking about Calgary, because I've been going there since the early 80s and fishing there since 2000. But you've been living in Alberta for a few years now, and you've come to get, you know a lot about Calgary. So why don't you tell us a little bit about Calgary?
Yeah, definitely. Thank you guys so much for having me. I'm excited to be here. Calgary is such a unique city and has so many cool different offerings, and fly fishing here is some of the best in the world. And what we're calling it is the world's largest fishing lodge. So rather than your normal kind of vacation, fly fishing vacation where you would be in a house or a hut somewhere in the country or mountains, you can actually come here and have an entire urban landscape be a part of your trip.
Okay, sorry.
No,
Keep going. Keep going.
Okay, so yeah, as I was saying, you can kind of come here for your fly fishing trip and just have a really unique opportunity to spend time in the city in the evenings, and even take a whole day to kind of just get some urban exploration in. We've got world-class dining. We've got 10 of the best 100 restaurants in Canada, 3 of the best 50 bars in Canada, and tons of gorgeous hotels, and just like a really cool, unique city that is very under the radar, and I think has so much to offer. And the Bow River is part of that. You know, the fly fishing is world class, and the really unique part of it too is you can actually fish right downtown in the city with the whole cityscape as your backdrop. You can venture further south into the prairies and the foothills of the Rockies, where you can actually head right into the mountains and be fishing in the Bow River in the Rocky Mountains. So it's diverse landscapes. It's so much opportunity to get out and explore and do things you wouldn't normally do on a fly fishing trip.
That's very true. And I love your analogy, the world's largest fly fishing lodge, because that's a great way to refer to Calgary, especially since the river runs right through the city and it's got great fishing. I mean, I've been there and literally walked down to the waters with a friend who lives there, and he's taking me to spots, and we're walking and waiting, catching fish. Jump in our vehicle, go grab a nice bite to eat at one of the local restaurants or one of the trailers, get back on our waders, go fishing again. And there's not many places where you can do that and stay at a nice hotel and then go out that night and do many things. Yeah. But now that I got the technology working, how about we watch that video, okay?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right, now see if I can do this again. There we go. Drift boat fly fishing. I love it. What is even better is if you can do it in September when the grasshoppers are falling in the water. It's a great time of year for outstanding topwater action. I have traveled to beautiful Alberta to do a drift down the famous Bow River running below the city of Calgary. The Bow is one of the better known rivers in Western Canada because of massive numbers of trout the river supports. Plus the fact you can literally stay in the city at a hotel. Calgary is a vibrant city with wonderful accommodations, restaurants, and sights to see. But for this trip, it's all about fishing. All right. So let me there we go. We got a new technology today that they just introduced on StreamYard, which is the service we're using. And we're still getting a little used to it, but the good news is we used to have it that the videos were a little choppy and we had to dim them down a bit in terms of the resolution. But as you can see, looked a lot better. But I think what I was talking about there, Shanice, which is from when I did a show 4 years ago in Calgary and on the Bow River with Fishtails Fly Shop, was talking about how accessible everything was and how easy it was to go fishing. And that's real. Well, Jenna, that's what I've been telling you for years and years, right?
Yeah. Yes, exactly.
So I'm going to make everyone aware of the fact, Jenna, you're working right now and you're in Barbados, and you were just complaining to us about how hot it was, and it was 26 degrees Celsius. And for our American friends, that's really warm. And it's what is it, minus 30 in Calgary right now, Shanice?
Yeah, about that. It's about that.
Yeah, so we're really feeling for you. We're feeling for you, Jenna. So Shanice, would you like to add any more about what we were talking about in terms of Calgary and why, like when I go to trade shows or I'm at different things and people are saying, what's a great place to go where I can bring my wife, and if that way she could go do things during the day, and I'm not trying to be sexist here, it could be the other way around, or sometimes it's just couples, right? And they want to go do something together. They want to fish together, or they want to go he may want to go fishing in the morning and she wants to sleep in, or vice versa. The bottom line is, when you go to a lodge and you're out in the middle of Labrador, which is really beautiful, that opportunity, you're there. You're at the lodge and there's nothing else. You can't go for a walk because there's no pass, right? There's so much to do in Calgary. We saw that in the video clip, right?
Yeah, definitely. I think it's a perfect trip to kind of bring even your family or a couple. And if one person wants to kind of go off during the day, or you just want to take a day in the city, there's so much to do. We have Studio Bell, home of the National Music Center here in the city. And it's absolutely incredible. The architecture is stunning, and it just pays tribute to all Canadian music legends, and not only Canadians, it's actually a living music collection. So they have taken all these music instruments from huge artists like Elton John, and artists today can actually come to Studio Bell and use their recording studios and use these instruments to record their albums. And we actually have the Rolling Stones mobile studio there, which is still used to record albums, which is so, so cool. So any music fan, this is like definitely the place to be. We also have the longest urban pathway system in North America. So exploring Calgary by foot or by bike is so much fun because we have a lot of cool little quirky neighborhoods, and actually a lot that line the river as well. So
Oh, sorry, I did it again.
no worries.
I'm so bad at this. I'm still getting used to it. Okay, we're back. Oh, look,
We're
it's
back.
even this time.
Ah,
Ooh,
I did. I know Mark's out there somewhere watching this going, Colin, what are you doing? Okay, all right, I'm back to them.
Yeah, so you can hop on. We have a lot of bike rental places right here in the city, or e-bike rentals if you don't want to work as hard. But there's over 1,000 kilometers of connected pathways, so you can hop on a bike and explore the neighborhoods, grab a couple pints. Our brewery scene here is absolutely incredible. Yeah, and I think there's a couple other cool things too you can actually do on the Bow River together to kind of have a new experience. We have a ton of rafting companies. We do about a 2-hour float, and it kind of starts on the west end of the city, a little further out in kind of a suburban neighborhood. And you float along for a little bit, and you kind of almost forget you're in Calgary. It's just full of nature. And then you turn one corner, and you're just viewing downtown, and it's sparkling in the sunlight, and it's amazing. And then another really cool, unique activity we have on the Bow River as well is actually we have urban river surfing here. So right in downtown Calgary, you can
wow.
rent a surfboard and surf on a river wave, like right just steps away from downtown.
That's pretty special in many places. I saw that in Missoula, Montana, but again, that's kind of remote compared to Calgary, which is really accessible to fly to, and then just stay right there in the city. You don't have to go anywhere, right?
Yeah, it's right there. The fishing, the surfing, the floating, the food, the biking. It's all there.
Yeah. And Jenna, you when you went out last summer, and Jenna went there with Bill Spicer, one of our other hosts. He did a show, and Jenna did a show, and you guys went out and you went out to some of the restaurants there, and I think one of them was really had a famous chef and everything, right?
Yeah, that was the Eddie. I think Shanice, correct me if I'm wrong.
One of the we went to a couple big ones. I don't think we went to the King.
Yeah.
It is a historic building as well. It's attached to Studio Bell, the National Music Center. It's an old classic blues music venue that they've transformed into a restaurant.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then some of the other ones that we went to were River Cafe. It's actually known for being one of the most sustainable restaurants in Canada. Their chef Ross Bowles, I think he's quite well known. They really focus on sustainability, so they actually use fish and trout directly from the Bow River, and really focus on using only Canadian, like local ingredients. They have their own micro garden and all that good stuff. So I think we have a couple restaurants that are doing that and really focusing on sustainability and how we can have farm to table in almost every one of our local restaurants.
Well, I just know it's a great place, and Jenna, you got a small taste of it in the 4 or 5 days you were there, right?
Yes, it was beautiful and so much fun. And I'd never been to Calgary before this, and I was blown away by how much there was to do, but also how much nature there is in the city and how accessible it is to outdoor activities. As someone who doesn't really like cities generally because of the lack of trees, the lack of the outdoors, this was like the perfect combination of urban and rural for me.
So I'm gonna have a little flashback. I did a little digging in the archives, and that was that little video clip you saw there for a second. and get this to work. And somebody was very kind in the right column here in the comments, because they're right. Today they actually just updated the software on this and changed how they made it better, but I didn't have any time to play with it. So my apologies if I'm making some mistakes here, but let's watch this from 2001.
Welcome everybody to the New Fly Fisher. I'm your host, Colin McKeown. Welcome everybody to the New Fly Fisher. I'm your host, Colin McKeown. Today's a really exciting day for me because for the first time I'm going to fish on the Bow River. We're going to be talking about grasshoppers. We're going to be talking about hopper patterns. We're going to be talking about how important grasshoppers are to the ecosystem. I better move out of the way here and get run over. We're going to be talking about drift quoting, about the rigging, etc. with the good people at Fishtails Fly Shop in Calgary, Alberta. It's going to be a great day. Pretty excited. Stay with us. In most places I venture for trout, it is indeed rare when a fish can take me into my backing. On the Bow River, these supercharged trout make it the norm rather than the exception. From the tippet to the drag system on the reel, the need for quality equipment is paramount. On the Bow River, you can comfortably use an 8.5 to 9.5 foot 4 or 5 weight rod for most fishing. However, if you're going to cast double hopper rigs or streamers, then a good moderate to fast action 6 weight would probably be ideal. As you drift down the river, you will see conditions and hatches change, and versatility in the equipment and rigging options you have available will improve your hooking ratio immeasurably.
Turn the rod to the left. Here he comes. Here we go.
Oh, look at that!
Nice fish.
That was a little thicker than the last
That's a fatter fish.
A lot fatter.
Oh, there you go.
Oh,
That's getting up to the 22-inch range.
oh, look at that. What a beauty. Awesome. Way to go.
Oh my goodness, what a stud I was, 2001. So that was the first time I actually fished on the Bow River all those years ago with Fishtails Fly Shop, the same people you went out with, Jenna. And interesting enough, that was David, who is the owner with his wife, Nancy, and you went out fishing with Nancy. And the guide is Terry Johnson, who was also the guide you went out with Nancy, right? So things haven't changed all those years ago. So I think I cut you off there, Jenna.
That's okay. I was just saying that it was a lot of fun and also fun to hear of stories of you when you were out with Terry before.
Oh, I didn't know about that. Hopefully they're all good stories. Nothing that happened off camera.
Mostly.
Anyways, it was the fishing was really good then, and the fishing is still good now. I know some people that are familiar with the Bow and its history. You did have that big deluge of water that caused a lot of damage to the river for a while there. But the good news is it just took Mother Nature a few years to have the river recover. And the weed growth is back, the insects are back, and the trout are better than ever. And, you know, I certainly saw it 4 years ago when I was there. And Jenny, you experienced it. And I've got lots of friends that go out there and they tell me the fishing is fantastic still. So that's the good news, you know what I mean? And you can still go out with Terry. You can still go out with David or Nancy, or they have quite a few guides at that shop, but it's still there. I think Fishtails Fly Shop's been around since 1997, as I recall. It's had a very long history in the city of Calgary. But at the same time, Shanice, we were just talking about this before we started. Like, there's got to be at least 10 or 12 fly shops and or outfitters and guides that are in the area of Calgary that can take people out if they want to go visit, right?
Yeah, definitely. There's a huge collection of of people who are taking out on doing multiple day guiding tours and everything. And I think something cool too that we're seeing here is a lot of female guides kind of starting to hop into the sport as well. So that's been really cool. And I've also heard from some of the local guides that something that's unique here in Calgary is even though the outfitters are competitors, they're all really friendly with each other and all get together and go out fishing together. So it's really like a team sport in a sense here in Calgary.
And to that, Shanice, I'm glad you brought that up. That's actually why tonight Nancy's not joining us, because unfortunately she and Dave are both at an outfitters meeting that they have every so often. And this was, of course, the night they're doing it. The good news is they're going to join us because Bill, as we talked about earlier, did a show in the Bow at the same time when Jenna was there, only on other days. And Bill, when his show goes to air in May, will do this again. And this time we'll have Nancy involved and talk more about what Fishtails does and all the things they have there, right? So probably the best thing, Jenna, why don't we show a little video, if your dad can do this and not blow up the system. And I'll show a little bit of the fishing you experienced while you were in Calgary. Just hang on a sec. Let me see if I can pull this up. And here we go.
While I couldn't wait to get out on the water, I'll admit that I was a bit nervous about my first drift boat experience. This is a style of fly fishing I was not very familiar with. However, I shouldn't worry, as Nancy is joining me and has set us up with professional guide Terry Johnson. Terry has been fishing and guiding on the Bow River for over 20 years through Fishtails Fly Shop. In fact, he guided my father on the Bow River 20 years ago, and my dad still raves about the 2 incredible days fishing he enjoyed with Terry. Before we even started fishing, Terry took the time to go over the essentials of drift boat fishing with me. He does this with all beginners to ensure they understand how it's done and make them more comfortable.
So just let it hit the water on the back cast.
And then
hit the water on the forward cast, each cast. And you're just letting out a little each time until you get it to where you want it. Then
mending it?
And mend it, yeah.
Okay.
And once we get out there, you want
And wait till it's parallel?
And the boat's, yeah,
Okay.
you want it right out to the side here.
Okay.
If it's down below there, you'll catch fish, but the problem is the fish is going to run straight back at you.
Right.
Right?
And
And you want to be able to set the hook. So if he's coming back at you, you're going to lift, but he's still going to be coming back.
okay.
So when you want to cast, just strip it up high up over top. If you try to do a sidearm cast, that wind's going to blow it right back in your face. And as long as you're going slow, you get it out there, little mend, line under the finger, you're ready.
With such incredible instruction and guidance from Terry, it wasn't long before I hooked into my first Bow River brown trout.
In this glassy water to the left, you'll see fish rising, eating those little trichos. That's a fish, little guy. Yep, so just strip him in. Nancy's gonna get your line out of the way. Yep, just keep stripping, just like that. We'll get him off real quick, get him back in there.
Awesome.
Yes, this is the future.
Yay.
There's lots of those.
I see how that works. That's cool. That's very cool.
Yeah, it just goes down to the bend of the hook and fish pulls himself off. Good job. It's a nice fish.
Okay. Let's see.
Oh, nice fish. Yep.
So should I be trying to get it on the reel?
No, don't. Just keep that rod high and bent.
Okay.
Just wear him out a little bit.
Okay.
Keep that tip nice and high. That's what you want to fight him with, the tip and not the butt.
Okay.
Good. So strip. Yep, strip. Keep that rod up though. Keep that tip up. There you go. Good. And then you just slide them over to me.
Woo!
Good job.
This is a nice
rainbow. Forget the cows. Cows. Nice and easy.
Rod tip up.
Rod tip up.
Gotcha. Okay.
And at the end here, when I scoop for him, if he takes off, you can just let him go. That's it.
Okay.
One more time. Strip it right up to the
Right
indicator.
up to the indicator. Gotcha.
And then slide him over.
Okay. Up. Ooh.
Strip it more. Strip.
Strip.
That's
Okay.
it. Once he kind of gets on the surface like that, you can water ski him right in
Woo!
to the nets. Nice fish. Another pretty rainbow
is
on the bow.
Gorgeous.
Yep. He's about 18. Off you go. Well done. Right in that little seam there.
Thank you so much.
Oh, yeah, we're doing this now.
So Jenna, that kind of personifies the type of fishing you just experienced. But I remember when you came back, you were saying to me, Dad, it was really kind of different than anything I've ever done. Not only had you not fished from a drift boat before, but that kind of water load lob type of casting that you're doing.
And I never really done indicator fishing either. And I was also taught how to properly cast a hopper dropper rig while I was there by the guides, which was another new and awesome experience. So it was a lot of fun to get to learn these new techniques, and the guides were just so informative and just very encouraging, because I definitely did not get it right all the time, especially when I was just learning at the beginning of the day. So Terry was great with his patience and my fear of accidentally hooking myself or him or whoever. So it was really, really great. It was so much fun.
Well, I'll just say this, it's a different experience. I really, really like drift boat fishing, but that's not the only thing you did. I mean, you stopped in a few places and you can get out, walk and wade. You can stop, have lunch on the river, which is also great too. But throwing a hopper and watching that fish come up and eat is so much fun. I'm going to show a video clip of some of that in a few minutes here. But I'm glad you got that experience, because, like I said, it's one of the few places that I think I've seen it in the North Platte River down in Wyoming, but there's not too many places where you've got to do that water load and then lob it, especially if the wind's going up, right?
Yeah,
So
and it was quite windy that day as well, so it was a very good technique to learn.
And that's the key. Is what I like about Fishtails Fly Shop and the guides there, and people like Terry. I mean, they're really good at helping anybody that hasn't, like, that's new to the sport. Or, I mean, you've been fishing for a long time, Jenna, and fly fishing for quite a few years, but you're still learning all the different types of fly fishing. Like, I haven't introduced you to saltwater yet. Where do you have that? That's a totally different experience. But fishing the Bow River, I know you can hardly wait. I know, because that means you're somewhere warm, like where you are right now. But anyways, why don't we watch another video? And this one's going to talk about the equipment related to what you were using, which is similar to what I used when I was there as well. And let me pull that up. And you also guys used some pretty cool flies, as I remember seeing.
We really did.
Here we go. Okay.
For this trip, I came prepared with 9-foot, 5, and 6-weight rods matched with large arbor reels. As per Nancy's recommendation, I made sure my reels had good quality drag systems in order to properly fight these strong trout. As with many bodies of water, the most effective flies for fishing the Bow River depends on the time of year and the current water conditions. Our guides recommended that since we were fishing in late summer, we would likely have the most success using black and white Clouser minnows, natural foam golden stone flies size 10, and beadhead prince nymphs on jig hooks size 12. We also used a variety of San Juan worms, including the San Juan worm pattern called Reese's Pieces in size 8, Vernal San Juan worm blood-colored size 8, and a red wire San Juan worm size 10.
Well, I think my favorite fly there was the Reese's Pieces. What a great name for a fly. So, Jenny, you want to add anything to that? Because I think basically when I was there, all in 2001, that's what they recommended was 9 foot, 9.5 foot, 5 foot, and 6 weight rods. Whether you're casting out streamers, you're throwing a hopper, or you're throwing dry flies, or you're throwing nymphs. That's what you used pretty much the whole time, wasn't it, Jenna? I think Jenna's frozen.
I think so.
I think she's frozen. Well, oh, I think she just. There's Jenna again.
Sorry, I lost.
Okay, what I was saying, Jenna, is that from what we just watched is that 5 or 6 weight rods, 9, even up to 10 foot. But I think you were using mostly 9 footers. That's the ideal size rod for throwing hoppers, streamers, nymph rigs, everything. That's what you use principally most of the time when you're there, right?
It was.
I know sometimes they recommend a 7 weight if it's really high winds and using, to have a little more ability to punch through the wind. But, I think that covers most of it. The next video I thought we'd put up, which I'm going to pull up right now, just bear with me, is all about me, of course. And I'm going to talk about where your dad, I was out with Simon Gosworth and I was having a great day, but in the afternoon, I wasn't doing well. And Simon was really kicking my butt and I kept missing fish. And I went from 0 to hero right at the boat takeout. Well, let me show this video. Take a watch, guys.
Yes, it is.
Huge fish. That's a beast. And eat the dry right at the end of the day here. That's hilarious.
The little one too. That's awesome. Yeah, try and get him up on the. Nice.
That's way funny.
Oh, it drops off right there. Careful. That's it. Slide him over. Nice, 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 nice. Scoop him up.
Boat launch fish.
That's the way to end the day there.
To end the day.
Well done, Colin. Boy, we had pulled over and
I'll take
said,
luck
that's
any
it, boys,
day.
and
Exactly.
all of a sudden fish on.
Oh, that just
Oh, a beauty too.
beauty fish.
Look at that guy. See if he'll behave. Oh yeah. Okay, fish. There we go. There we go. Now he's behaving. Are you ready? I'm gonna let you slide out.
Sometimes
That was a nice one, Dad.
it was. Sometimes it's better to be lucky than good, as they say. But yeah, literally, I thought one last cast, and I threw it right next to where the boat launch was, and that rainbow was sitting right there and ate the little tiny hopper. I had a 2-hopper rig on. He ate it. So that was a nice way to end the day. And that's one of the reasons I love that river, because you just never know what you're going to catch and where. There's literally trout everywhere. There's thousands of trout per mile of that river. It's very prolific. It's a wonderful, wonderful place. But Shanice, I think this is a good time for us to come back to on the earlier video, which was showing the people running across the bridge. And I know that spot where that bridge is a good fishing spot. So you were talking about the pathways. So somebody can literally go to a parking lot, one of the parking lots, park there for the morning or whatever, and put on their gear and walk down on those pathways with easy access. And there's lots of public access, and go fishing for the morning, the afternoon, the evening, whatever they want to do. And as you said, you've got the most paths and trails of any city in North America, right?
Yeah, definitely. So we have the longest urban connected pathway system in North America. And like you're saying, there's so much access. I think one of the great things about being in the city is really you can fish on basically anywhere along the riverbank. So like you said, you can pull up in a parking lot downtown after you eat an amazing breakfast at a local spot, and then just head down to the riverbank just a few steps away and take your try at catching a fish.
That's my kind of fishing. Very relaxed, easy access, and that's one of the things. So if somebody were going to come to Calgary, I know I would give a recommendation that get a guide, go out for a couple days, but then you can spend a couple days yourself. Going to a whole bunch of easy access places like we're talking about, and you'll catch fish. Of course, the fly shop will give you some recommendations on where to go, flies to use. And based on the time of year, obviously the fish move and can be more concentrated in one area than another. So like, I know when you were there, Jenna, and that was what, early September, I think, right?
Yeah, very early September, end of August, beginning of September.
And the trout, the density of trout in that area where the pathway had very much diminished. They had moved to another area, getting ready to spawn, especially the brown trout. The rainbows obviously spawn in the spring, but things have kind of changed. But that's where the fly shop can be so critical to this, because they'll tell you where to go and what things to take to have a good day fishing by yourself. I mean, obviously you can hire a guide to do walk and wait, but you don't need to. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And that's what I've done many times. I remember one time I was there years ago, and I was actually going up north to join some friends in Edmonton, but I had a couple days in Calgary. So the one day, and I couldn't get anybody to take me out because everyone was booked. So I just went down and I started fishing spots. Didn't even know where they were. Every place there was some riffles or some broken water, I caught fish. I didn't get any giants, but if I could catch 12 to 20-inch fish, and Jen, as you experienced, they're very strong.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
Yeah, that was a lot of fun. So why don't we go to the next video, and we'll have a look, see what we got here. Because Jenna, I think it's going to be about Fishtails Fly Shop. And I wish Nancy was here to talk about it, but I think in this video, it tells us a lot about the shop. I love going into a well-stocked fly shop. It's like a candy store to me. Fishtails Fly Shop, which is located right in Calgary and not far from the Bow River, is one of those great candy shops. Since 1997, Fishtails Fly Shop has become recognized as the place to visit for local knowledge, technical information, and expertise. Owners David Blair and Nancy Storwick have created a warm and comfortable retreat for anglers young and old. Fly fishing equipment, instructional courses, and guiding. They and their staff offer it all. For fly fishers visiting Calgary, this is a must-see fly shop. So, Jenna, I think you spent some money in that fly shop.
Yes.
I know I need nothing, and I still spent money in that fly shop. I don't know. It's true. You seem to have everything in the world, but when you go to a really well-stocked fly shop and they have things you've never seen before or cool things you can't find often, or I think in your case, you bought some clothing, you just see stuff. Like Shanice, you don't even have to fish. You go in and go, hey, that's a really nice shirt. That would be really comfortable to wear hiking.
Perfect.
And that's the thing. I think shops like Fishtails have so much. You could literally go in and spend hours looking through all the gear, looking at all the equipment, talking to people. It's somewhere that is very much like a wonderful black hole of information and gear. It's a lot of fun.
Well, Janice, you've obviously maybe had a chance to get in there, but just maybe leave your wallet in the car, because I'll just say there's a lot of fly shops and good ones, and there's great ones, and that one, they've got a great shop. They're also known as the friendliest fly shop in Calgary, which I would say they're great people. You've got some other great fly shops in Calgary that people can visit, but they do have a great store there. And wow, the selection's fantastic. A lot of guides, a lot of knowledge. And you know what I really like is that, and it's not because it's me. I've got friends who have gone there, and I've told them to go to Fishtails. And when they came back, they told me how easygoing, but more importantly, how open they were about information. Because some places you go, they won't tell you. Like they're trying to get you to book a trip, and they're like, no, you don't need us. Here's a place to go down in the park, and we'll get out the map and show you. This is where you go. You park here. Don't park here because your car will be towed. You park in this parking lot here and get your stuff on. You go down here and fish this, and this time of year use these type of flies, and boom, you'll be into it. So that's what you want in a fly shop. And I got to say, this is, I think, the 4th show we've shot with Fishtails Fly Shop. And we've done some other shops over the years. But I keep coming back to them because they're just such wonderful people. And they've got a great store. And I have to save up my money when I go there because I know I'm going to spend it. So I'm going to put another video on here because everyone loves videos, and who doesn't? And we'll show a little bit more, but this time, Jenna, this is about you talking about your experience and showing some more fishing. I wish you could put more videos up, but I can't because then I'm giving away the show. And for everybody's information, the show is going to be broadcast on World Fishing Network, Sportsman's Channel Canada, and it's also going to be on our YouTube channel, which is really, I think everyone gets that, at 12 p.m. Eastern Time, which is going to be, I guess, about 10 o'clock out in Alberta, right? So Let me put this video up.
In my opinion, one of the best parts of fishing is making new friends and spending time with them on the water. This is made even better when you're both having success. After a quick and relaxing lunch break, Nancy hopped into another boat and we continued to fish our way downstream. And it wasn't long before we had trout on our lines, testing our skills again. This is so much fun. I certainly understand why my father raved about this river and the fishing.
That's a fish. Little guy. Oh, that's not a little guy.
That is a decent fish.
That is a decent
And
fish.
that was, wow. That was right on that seam. Exactly what you were talking about, Terry. I was trying to cast to the foam, cast to the seam where the slow and the fast water are meeting off this riffle here, and that's where that fish hit.
Perfect. Okay.
I did not think it was this big a fish until it
No, I
jumped. Oh my
didn't.
gosh, that was fun. Oh,
That's a good
let's
fish.
see if I can get him up here. Trying to remember all the tips that Terry gave
I'm gonna
me.
need that net.
Thank you. And I think my line's a little tangled in my bag. Okay. So, ooh,
Good, good.
that's a nice jump. Let's see. Let's see, because I think I'm almost
Yep, get his head up and
right
just,
at my guides.
that's it, slide him right in here.
Come on, buddy.
There you go, there you go. Yep, keep him coming, keep him coming.
Up, up, up.
Right
and
into the net.
there we
Good
go.
job.
Woo. Yes. That is a beautiful, beautiful fish. And Terry's been so helpful about telling me exactly where to put my fly, and just following his instruction, I've been getting into fish all day. It was right where he told me to, on that foam, right where the fast and the slow water meet. That's awesome. Thanks, Terry.
Yeah.
I just want to go back. That was such a fun day.
I know, especially in the middle of winter here when it's so cold and well, you're thinking about fishing. And that rainbow, that's what I really like about that river. And you saw that in that first video I showed from 2001. This is a place where you're going to hook fish that are going to go into your backing, but I'm amazed how, I mean, they go airborne, the rainbows especially, every time. So it's pretty fantastic. And I'm glad, Jenna, you got an experience like that. You know, every father or every mother who fishes and wants to take their son or daughter out. And unfortunately, I couldn't join you, but I'm just so glad you got a chance to fish the Bow River and to see Calgary. I mean, I know you went there when you were younger. I took you there, but we didn't fish. We got to go.
I honestly don't remember you taking me even when I was younger. So for me, it felt like my first true Calgary experience. So got the best of both worlds, city and fishing.
I know. And this time, it'd be great if we can go again, because this time I can take you to a bunch of places, or you can take me, because I am the elder here, right? You can take Jack out for dinner and a few drinks, and then you can go off with your brother and check out the nightlife or whatever. But, you know, that's,
yeah, we'll meet up with Shanice. That'll be fun.
Yeah, and you guys can take me fishing.
there you go, Shanice.
Perfect.
Wouldn't that be fun, Shanice?
I would love to.
I know. So listen, I'm going to throw up a few things here. First, let me show everybody. Shanice, this is visitcalgary.com. So people want to learn more about places to go and stay for accommodations, because you got all different types of price ranges, just like any city. And by the way, I could tell everybody, you know, we were talking before we started that what Calgary reminds me of is Denver in Colorado, but it's like smaller. And it's like Denver's a great city. It's very clean, got great restaurants. It's a lot bigger in many ways, but Calgary's like that. And just like Calgary, you know, like Denver has got Aspen and Vail as the places to go. You want to go see something. And Calgary, you're just a short drive from Banff and Jasper. I mean, there's so many things, not just in the city, but just in the area. So like you can never really get bored. But anyways, the website, visitcalgary.com. Shanice, any parting words here to talk about with regards to Visit Calgary and things people can find in your website?
Yeah, definitely. You can head to our website and just find a ton of things to do in trip inspiration. If you're looking for fly fishing, we have articles on there from local guides who kind of give even more of an inside scoop on what it's like to fish on the bow. And like Colin was just saying, there's so much here to do that's really under the radar. So I think if you head to our website, do a little bit of exploring, you'll see that there's a lot you didn't actually know about Calgary, like what kind of day trips we offer, like our unique experiences that we have here. So I think head to the website, a little bit of a plug, and check it out. And I think start planning your next trip.
I hope so. And you know something? We're all hoping that things are going to get better. For our friends in the United States, I really hope the border opens. You come up here. I know I'm looking forward to going down there. And just for people in Canada, you know, if the border doesn't open right away, go to Calgary. There's just, I could see Jenna taking you and your mom there and going for a 4-day trip, you know what I mean? And being able to go fishing, go to see some sites, dinners. I mean, there's so much to do in that area. So I know we'd have a great time, but we're going to go fishing. So that's the best part, you know what I mean? Yeah. Next thing is
the best part of any trip, really.
Right. And then Nancy's not here for me to say this, but, you know, Jenny, you can certainly speak. fishtailsflyshop.com. The people who guided us, they've guided me at least a half a dozen times, both with the show and not with the show, where I've paid them to take me out because I just love the service they provide. The people they have there are fantastic. And Jenna, you can talk about it. You were there last year. What was it like?
It was wonderful. Even just going there, I was immediately at ease. Everyone is super friendly and so excited and willing to share their information with you, share techniques, and just like really help you to have the best experience possible, not just fishing on the bow, but in Calgary. And just it was awesome. I get at a loss for words because I just had so much fun and everybody was so wonderful.
That's a great way to say it, Jenna. So thank you very much, Shanice, for having us come and helping us set up, and to everybody there at Tourism. I appreciate it. I really look forward to it. And we haven't even talked about the Stampede. We'll talk about the Stampede because the Calgary Stampede is something that's so cool to see. But we'll talk about that when we do the show with Bill in May and some of the things, because we can't kind of talked about the seating generalities, and we didn't get to talk about the sushi places I really like to go eat. We'll talk about other things to do in the city on top of the great fishing the next time we get together, okay?
Perfect.
And hopefully I'll be out there this summer if I can talk my wife into this, and then I'll take you fishing. Sound good?
Yeah, sounds great. And
Works
I
for me.
just want to add one last tiny little thing. I just love how you guys are speaking about Fishtails Fly Shop and the energy they brought and the positivity that they have. I think that's something that's really unique to Calgary too, is that everyone here is really welcoming. So we're so happy to welcome you guys, and yeah, we're happy to welcome any fly fishers and all visitors, and welcome you guys back soon.
World's largest fly fishing lodge, right?
Yeah.
I like that. That's a great way to call yourself. So listen, thank you ladies both for being on tonight's interview / Facebook Live event, whatever they call it. But the bottom line is I really enjoyed it, and the videos. And Jenna, I'm so glad you had a great time out west.
I did.
And try to stay cold down there, Jenna, and don't get heat stroke. And Shanice, you try and stay.
I'll do my best.
How weird is that, eh? All right. Thanks everyone for joining us tonight. And I hope everyone, you're getting lots of flies tied. Oh, wow. It's been a long day. Lots of flies tied, and stay warm. Take care.
Bye.